Hello and welcome to the Red Couch Podcast. I'm your host, Hannah Theodore. For the first time, I'm your host, Hannah Theodore. Today I'm joined on the Red Couch by your two other hosts of this show, Ben Harrietha. Hello.
Hi.
And Justin Koehler.
Hi. How's it going?
Hi. So good. How are you guys?
Good.
How's it feel? How's it feel to be on the other side?
Weird.
It's very low stress. I love
Yeah.
it.
It should be the most casual time for you guys now.
I was super stoked when we were planning this one out, and I saw that I did not have to host.
You don't have to do that.
Because, don't get me wrong, I love running the podcast. It's super fun, but I'm very bad on camera.
That's not true.
You're great on camera. What are you talking about?
Well, I don't like being on. I think I'm bad on camera, and it's the mental thing. So when it was like, oh, I can only just be on camera and just exist as a person, that was great.
Everyone drop in the comments how they think Ben is on camera.
Please be nice to me. I'll cry if you're not.
So how's it going? You guys, you're in school.
Yes.
How is it? Do you feel like things are winding down right now, or are they crazier than ever?
I'm kind of in that middle lull period where for the past 2 weeks it's been just wall-to-wall busyness, but now getting certain projects in, sort of starting to slowly wind down. Everything that I submit is just that little bit of satisfaction. So everything's slowly getting easier and easier. So
what is going in right now? We both Ben and I both did broadcasts. So what's happening right now in the program? Because we will know.
So a couple of the big ones we had were the breaking news one for
and you did
for
that.
Mike. And I did great.
Did
that one was awesome.
Fun fact, I didn't do that assignment.
Neither did I.
What?
It was COVID our year, so we were off the hook. Mike Stubbs gave us the leeway there to not have to do that.
Yeah. I think I did it, but I didn't have to go cover anything. I think I was just able to just basically pretend to cover a breaking news story, and that's what I had to do.
Pretend.
I wish.
Yeah.
We got to just do something completely different entirely. I think the option was that you could interview a local journalist and just talk, tell their story about their career in journalism. And at the time, I think I did Angela, the previous editor of Interrobang.
Nice.
So it was real cop out on that one for me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I think we also did an assignment like that in my year, where we got to interview a journalist that we wanted to interview, so I got to talk to someone who's a games journalist. I like
Oh,
a
sick.
lot. Yeah, which was really cool.
And what story did you end up doing for your breaking news?
So there was a big barn and field fire down on the southeast side of town a little while ago, and I was in the middle of one of Gina's classes and saw it start to pop up on my Twitter, from London Police, London Fire, and I was within 20 seconds of seeing it, and I was like, Bye. It's the first time that I've ever done a big breaking news thing, and man, you just feel horrible going someplace, pulling out the microphone, and being like, "Man, your barn just burned down." How do you feel about it? It was a good experience, but definitely not my niche of journalism for sure.
It's a tough one, I think, in journalism, and it's a weird rite of passage. I think that you have to have that experience where you're putting someone in that position, you're trying to get the story, but it just feels like this, it's hard. Yeah. It's a hard feeling.
It just feels bad when you have to sort of take that human element out of it a little bit and just try to be like, hey, I know you're going through a whole lot right now. Can you just find any sort of way to describe me what happened, what's going on, just to paint the picture for people in London who want to learn more about what's going on?
I think that's such a good way to frame it too. I think too often in those kinds of reporting situations, there is a slant towards exploitation sometimes, and it can feel that way. But I sense that that's changing the way that younger journalists are starting to report on stories like that. There's a lot more sensitivity.
Which is awesome, which is great. It's nice to handle journalism with that more empathetic lens a little bit. And it just completely changes the whole dynamic of it, where we're getting taught journalists sometimes don't really have the best perspective when it comes to locals and the people who immediately think about journalism. So we're everybody's trying to kind of swap that and pretty much just be like, hey, people just want to be informed.
I'm asking you guys a question because there was a panel about this at NASH, which is the Cup conference in Hamilton, a couple months ago, and they had a bunch of reporters there from CBC, and it was specifically focused on disability reporting. And one of the questions was everyone on the panel was a current journalist, but they asked them if they had ever been on the news previously. Have you guys ever been interviewed for the news for anything? that you can recall, and what that experience was like?
I think Kate interviewed me for something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for something. Didn't she do stuff for like CTV or something like that?
Was this about like the LGBT?
Yeah, so she interviewed me for that, but never before that, no.
Yeah.
But
I think maybe once, way back when I was in high school. It was back when, I mean, there have been multiple waves of it, but when there were a bunch of like staff walkouts and things like that, the students also participated at one point, and I was out there with them. And I think it was CTV or Global or someone came out and interviewed me about it.
I was going to say, I remember that, but we would have been in different school boards. It's not the same. Not the same.
Was that with Doug Ford, or was that a different...
That would have been before, I believe.
Oh, man.
Because that would have been back in maybe 2013, 2014. So a little while back.
So I was entering high school when that happened.
I think I was on the tail end.
I was definitely had graduated by then.
Sorry for being 21. My bad.
But this is something that we hadn't talked about in that conversation, was like to remember how it felt to be interviewed and to be on the news, and what the follow-up was like after, because I had that experience too. I think Rogers TV came to my high school. We were doing like a musical review or something, and they were there to shoot us all recording. We weren't notified like when the story went live. You never hear back from anyone, and if it's a sensitive topic and you never get that follow-up, then it can just feel that it can feel exploitative, right? If you're just being like, oh, I was your story, and then you just forgot about me, right?
You just used me.
Yeah, like literally though. But that's something we're always trying to, I think, incorporate with our reporting here. And people are keen often in saying, can you please send me the story, like when it goes up, right? We always try to do that.
Well, it's just cool to have. Like if you're the one being interviewed, or if you're having an article written about you, it's just cool to have that piece of information and just have it with you. It's just kind of a cool thing to have.
It's cool, like archivally, to keep that, right?
I'm really bad for that. I try. People always ask me, oh, can you send this when it comes out? And I go, yeah, sure. And like immediately, soon as the interview is over, I forget. I should really be setting reminders. I'm usually good for it, but it's like 50-50 if I remember to get back to it. I had one person reach out to me like 6 months after I interviewed them, and the story went up, and they're like, oh, did that story ever go up? And I was like, yeah. Here
you go.
Here you go.
It's been out.
It's been out for a bit now. My bad. Sorry.
I want to talk a little bit about the reflections that you guys wrote this year.
Okay.
Because we kind of closed out this issue with some really great features from all our reporters. I think everyone contributed.
I think so.
A reflection. Except me. I didn't write one.
What?
Come on.
I said here. There. If you want, we could talk about what I would have said, but I want to talk about what you guys wrote. So, Ben, I want to start with yours. You talk about the idea of life being boring again.
I am so excited for my life to be boring again. It's unreal. Because like the past couple of years have just been like crazy for me, because like obviously COVID, and then like I was in school, I was moving a lot. Because like I used to live in like Argyle, and then essentially like I moved back home for a summer when in my first year of journalism. I moved back home for a summer and had to take like most of my stuff home, and then moved back to Argyle, and then like when I moved out of Argyle, I moved some of my stuff back home, and then moved to my new place. And in that time, I've had like 3 different jobs. And like, my roommate was asking me, she was like, oh, when your lease is up, are you guys going to be moving? I was like, no, hell no.
I'm going to stay here.
I'm going to stay here
because
I'm not moving for a 4th time in 5 years. Like, so I'm just really, really stoked for my life to just be really boring. Like just kind of work, go home, make dinner, go to the gym, call it a night.
It's nice to fall back into some semblance of a routine.
Oh my God, yeah.
Exactly.
It's, especially because like coming to like this job after shift work, where shift work is just like, yeah, you could be working like, 7 to 4. And then the next day you're going to be working like until like 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I'm just super stoked to have like a set routine and for things to not be happening to me anymore.
Yeah. Justin, you did a really interesting thing in your reflection where you kind of weaved in the story of your appendix bursting.
Yeah.
To the like whirlwind of this year that you've had. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Well, and that was realistically where it all started. Before then, I just had a history in marketing. I was working retail at the time, and really just I was in the opposite of the situation you were in, where I was stuck in this routine for years and years and years, and just never had any sort of a calling or interest to do anything else. So I was just kind of stuck. But yeah, lying on a hospital room floor with a burst appendix, feeling abs and muscles begin to fail, really kind of wakes something up in you a little bit.
Yeah.
And from that point on, it just, I started realizing just that I wasn't enjoying what I was doing, and I needed to find out what I should be doing.
Yeah.
And brought me all the way here. And then, the whole school year's been such a different experience, actually just appreciating what I'm doing. It's the first time I've been in college and in school and liked it and actually felt like performing up to my potential.
Yeah.
So it was a whole whirlwind of a year, and that was pretty much the whole
that was
catalyst.
the catalyst.
Yeah.
It burst open.
Yeah.
The
Well,
opportunity.
yeah. Well, it's the whole thing of, if you feel a pain on the right side of your gut, don't ignore it for like a week straight. Bad things will happen.
That's kind of a beautiful metaphor, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
If something's eating away inside of you and you feel like you're maybe doing the wrong thing in life, don't ignore that.
Don't just sit on it. Do something about it.
About it.
Now I feel like an ass because I was like, oh, I moved so many times and I had three jobs, and then you're like, my appendix burst.
No, but you know what? This is So okay, I will talk about myself because I actually think that personal crap that happens to you can be so different, but it can impact you in the same way. Like for me, this year has been about rediscovery, personally and professionally. And honestly, the catalyst for that was my dog getting sick last summer. And it was the worst, like months and months of dealing with this situation. He had to get surgery. It was like thousands of dollars in the end. And he's great today and everything's fine, But like that evolution was kind of happening at the same time for me, where I was getting to these really low places, feeling like I was in a rut professionally and personally. And then once we kind of got over that situation, it felt like things could kind of get back to normal again. So it's not appendix bursting, it's not moving 100 times, but it can impact you in the same way, right? And if you grow out of it, then, something good.
That's a win.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a dub, as the kids would put it.
Yes, exactly.
It's a real shame that life sometimes needs to kick you down a little bit for you to
life
realize
needs to
it.
burst your appendix.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the new metaphor for everything. We should have put something on the cover. I put a lot of Easter eggs on this last cover, but I think like a burst appendix would have been a really good addition.
I'm just so glad we don't have two appendixes. Like I'm so glad
that's
it's gone.
it. You only got to do it once.
Gary have even put that on the cover?
It'd be like right in the corner, just like how it is inside of you.
Just a little
meaningless
stick figure lying on the
thing
ground or
sticking
something
out.
like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Perfect.
So speaking of covers, I want to talk about them in honor of our former podcast host, Amy Simon, who is a huge fan of our covers. She gets them all framed. And this was a conversation we had on our last year's end of year podcast. Any favorite covers for you guys? Because I have several.
I've got one in particular.
Go on.
You gotta love the FSU election Super Smash Bros. One.
Yes.
So hard not to love that one.
That one was great. Shout out Meg for designing that one on the fly while we were waiting for results.
That was really, really good.
Yeah.
I remember the proofs of that one. Didn't it just say like pending?
Yeah, we didn't have names. We didn't have the names yet. We didn't know who was gonna win. It was all just like last minute, threw them on as soon as we had the results. Because they came in the day that our paper was due, so it was a quick turnaround on that one.
Definitely a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Man, that's tough. I mean, it's not at the time of when this airs, like when this goes out, it will be out.
Yeah.
I love the end of year cover.
Your cover's really sick.
nice.
End of year cover is so good.
Yeah. Can I talk about the inspiration?
Yeah, go ahead.
So sometimes when I'm struggling to like think of a cover concept, I will literally just Google like the words that I'm looking for. So like end of year, this time I searched "school's out." My initial thought was, the Disney's Recess movie?
Yes. Oh,
yes.
As soon as you said that, I was like, it's gotta, like, I'm instantly thinking Recess.
That
and then you said it, so that's awesome.
I was like, I wonder if it could be like Disney's Recess theme. So I searched "School's Out." Obviously, that wasn't the first thing that came up. The first thing that came up was Alice Cooper's "School's Out."
Of course. Banger.
I'm looking at this thing and it's got like, it's like things etched on a desk and the heart dagger and all this stuff. And I thought that would be so cool if we did an interpretation of that. And then as I was thinking about it, because the desk has like all the initials of all the band members on it too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we should do that. All the writers' initials can be on the desk. And then we'll put hints to all their features that are inside. And then we'll put doodles that are referencing past covers. So it just like built and built as we went along. And then I said, I really want to keep the like Alice Cooper influence. So we kept the heart dagger, but we just put like an Interrobang End of Year in it. So
it was like,
yeah.
Cool cover. I think my favorite part is that everyone's initials has their own style.
Yeah. If we'd had more time, it would have been cool to like actually have you guys write them.
Have everyone write their initials. Yeah. No, but that cover came out super, super, super good.
Yeah.
And then obviously shout out to our fashion and finance covers as well.
Fashion.
That cover is so good.
This is the coolest thing we ever did. Collectively, the people that made this happen, I'm like so in awe of how that came together.
Yeah.
Because that was very like last minute. I said we should probably do a photo shoot.
It came out so good for
so
being last minute.
Professional too. Just
yeah.
like,
Is that's our first one that's just straight up a picture, right?
During my tenure, yeah, we used to do photo covers like prior to when I became editor. The format of our cover has changed a little bit over time. We do like to highlight our graphic designers and our artists and our illustrators. But I think for fashion, it was just like a no-brainer that we'd moved this issue to the second term so that it would align with the Unbound fashion show.
Mm-hmm.
So to not feature them felt like a disservice.
Definitely.
But yeah, it was so cool. Such a cool experience.
It came out so good.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people are loving it because walking around the school, people are picking up issues from places that people do not normally pick up issues from.
Yeah, it's been really solid. Actually, I was just looking at the numbers for pickup this year. Higher than pre-COVID.
Wow.
Higher than pre-COVID.
That's sick.
Yeah.
It's because you guys hired me.
Yeah, exactly. It's all been like everyone's picking it up for the rewind and the rewind only.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's like, I don't care about any of this other stuff. I want to see what this guy has to say about Nirvana.
Yeah, absolutely. I do also want to shout out our Black History Month cover, which was a contribution. We had a lot of great contributions that came in for that issue, and really lucky to get a piece of artwork that also worked for the cover. So that was another really solid
the Galen Weston one too.
Yeah, the Galen Weston. Yeah. That was the finance one.
One is so good.
Yeah, that was that was fun. That was a good one. Any favorite stories, yours or someone else's?
Oh, that's tough. That's a really.
I had to look back, honest, because there are a lot that I don't remember, and then I realized there were a lot of ones that I loved in the Geek Issue.
Geek Issue had some good ones.
I wrote that Twilight column, which I still think about.
Yeah.
And Kate did that one about like boy band history, which I'm partial to.
Mm-hmm.
I think I came in immediately after the Geek
I think you're
issue.
right. Yeah, I don't think you were in that
pitching
one.
stories and be like, that would have been really good for last issue.
Yeah.
I don't remember what stories I had in the Geek Issue. I know I wrote a Radiohead review for that one.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote OK Computer, but that's about all I remember. I don't remember what. I know I had like a culture or opinion piece in there.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what it was. But oh man, that's really tough.
Definitely a highlight for me was that RBC Training Ground one.
Oh my gosh.
In the sports one, because I've been obsessed with the Olympics since I was a kid. And I've never actually been able to meet and talk with Olympians, let alone local Olympians from the area too.
It's so cool, right?
They were so well, and one of them was younger than me, which also was a little bit of a throw off.
It's always it's a tough one when you get to that age.
But they were just so cool, and it was just such a cool experience watching people who have succeeded at the highest level.
Yeah.
To then also be looking at the next generation of talent coming up as well. So it was just cool on that end.
Yeah.
And as soon as you sent me the heads up for it, I nerded out immediately.
And so I didn't even know that you were a big Olympics fan, but as soon as I got that presser, I was like, Justin, this is for Justin. And then it turned out you were a big fan, and I was even more excited to send you there.
As soon as I left the event, I immediately had to call my family and just like have that detox little bit of like, oh my God. I just had to like contain my giddy excitement for like 4 hours straight, and I need to get it out somewhere.
Yeah.
So definitely a highlight.
That's awesome.
In the same vein, I think I forget his name at this moment, but
Damian Warner.
I spoke to Damian Warner. That was the coolest thing ever. Like just talking to a guy that is like that, like he was so nice too. And it's crazy because like people call him literally the world's greatest athlete, which
I mean, that's the moniker if you win the gold medal in the what is it?
Decathlon.
Yeah.
And it's like you hear something like that and you think, oh, maybe he's good at like half the events and he was just able to, but it's like, no, you look at his performance, he like killed it every single event. Like 10 events, he was either first or second.
Yeah.
And that one was really cool. To just the process of doing that one, being able to do that was like my first scrum also, which was cool.
It's a fun experience.
And I got to see Mike Stubbs again
in the field.
Yeah, I got to see Mike, and I was like, "Hey, Mike, how you doing?"
Wow.
Gotta love
and
Mike.
then speaking of Mike, actually, probably my favorite story is the underdog one I wrote.
Oh yeah,
it
that was a great one. Story,
and it was about why we cheer for the underdog. And I got to talk to Mike because he's, that guy knows everything about sports.
Yeah.
And I got to also talk about the Seattle Mariners, best baseball team in the world.
No.
And I have that one pinned in my office because I love the title. I love the photo we used because it was specifically a photo of Cal Raleigh hitting the home run that got the Mariners into the playoffs. It's just such a good photo. So
that was a great story.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite one. Shout out also to Emma's climate change one. That was a really good one.
Oh yeah.
I talked about that when she was on the Reporter Rants. We talked about that one because I asked like, what's your favorite story you've ever written?
She was into that one too, eh?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
you guys know
really
I love a
like
weather story. If it's about weather or climate, I like it. And it was already about like the weather was being weird, and I had seen conversations happening about like what that was saying about climate change. This winter was just a weird one, right?
Definitely.
And then she was into doing it, and I thought she did such a good job with it. You're right. I forgot about that one.
No, it's really. I think that one's a sleeper hit.
Yeah. Also want to shout out your Christmas story.
Oh.
With your family's gift giving.
Oh, yeah.
That was so cute. Just really cute. I just really liked that one.
I have that. I have that one pinned up because that was like one of the first stories I wrote.
Yeah, that was an early. That would have been like an early feature.
Really early.
Yeah.
Feature, and it was just really fun to be able to talk to my family and just be like, "How do you guys handle the holidays?" And it's really fun seeing everyone's answers because again, my mom and my sister give these elaborate answers, and my dad's just like
whatever.
My dad's just like whatever. Dad answer.
Dad. Yeah.
Okay,
I want to just like round this out with. I don't know. They're not really quick fire questions, but I just want to talk about some stuff about what you guys are interested in right now. Are there any movies you're looking forward to this summer or like in the near future?
I need to go see John Wick.
True.
I need to go see John Wick for it.
Very good movie. The Dungeons and Dragons movie is definitely on my list.
You know what?
Sure.
I was laughing at that trailer. Like it looks funny. Chris Pine is a delight. I can't deny him.
You know what's crazy? I've heard from I had like zero expectations for that movie. I'm like, this movie's gonna suck.
Yeah.
This movie's gonna suck so much. And then from literally everyone I've heard who has seen it so far, like all the reviews, they're like, no, this movie rocks.
Okay.
Yeah, and all my friends who have seen it have been like, no, it really does kick ass.
Loves.
So.
Sick. Any Barbie stands on the couch?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, sick.
When that trailer came out, oh man.
I had to be walking up, one ticket for Barbie, please.
Literally, like, I will be there.
That one, and just for the cast alone, that Oppenheimer movie that's coming out.
Absolutely.
Just wicked cast for Christopher Nolan's movie. So
yeah.
Oh, it's a new Nolan movie?
Yes.
Ooh.
It's lots of big names.
Historical Nolan.
Ooh, he did Dunkirk.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He's only done like 2 of those. This will be the second one. I mean, I love Tenet. So
yeah, I know, right?
Well, and I think they set off like a mini actual nuke or something like that to
I
get
did
the
hear
actual
that.
footage for the movie.
Yep.
Which
I would expect nothing
is
less,
bonkers,
honestly.
but
yeah. Shows you're watching right now.
X-Files.
Right.
Oh, you're watching X-Files right now?
X-Files.
Nice.
I'm like alternating between X-Files and House.
Nice.
Because both of those are just like really good episodic where I can just basically shuffle play and just kind of watch whatever episode I want to watch.
Yeah.
House has held up so well. Same with X-Files.
Yeah, X-Files doesn't go out of style.
No, it's always good. Honestly, even the revival seasons are pretty good. They're not bad.
I'm running through Suits for the probably 4th or 5th time by this point.
I love Suits.
It's so man.
Yeah.
I can never recommend that one enough. And Fleabag right now I'm running through as well. For the first time. So
which one's that one?
So it stars what's her
Phoebe Waller-Bridge, also written by. Have you never seen it? Oh my God, Ben, you need to watch it because I would literally give my life if I could watch it for the first time again. It's so good.
Spectacular. I was hooked from the first episode.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Sick. Good. Great selections. Any like albums you guys are excited for? What's dropping this year?
Music. I'm not as big on music. I'm such a retro person. I was just at a rock and roll bingo night the other day.
Oh, at Winx?
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. And it was the first time I'd ever been, and as soon as I saw Cher, Wham, Aha, all on the same bingo card, I was like, this is my jam. This is my place.
I'm obsessed with your music taste, Justin. It's so good.
I don't really keep up with like what's coming out. I just get surprised when things
That's
release.
I kind of am the same, to be honest.
I know JPEG Mafia just released a new album with Danny Brown, and it's really good. Both underground rappers, and he's saying that he's got like 3 more coming out this year, which is insane. I'm excited for whatever King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard releases.
They will undoutly drop something.
They undoubtedly will drop
they
5 albums this
albums.
year. They released 4 albums last year. Right? Like, it's crazy. And one of them was like an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
They'd just be releasing music, man.
I don't know if they're releasing one this year or not, but I recently got into one. They ended up being the touring with Harry Styles. They're called Wet Leg.
Oh, yeah.
Really good group. I just recently got into them, so I hope they drop something at some point. And I'm always looking forward for anything Half Moon Run new to come out. Just
Nice.
Especially Canadian groups in particular. Always great to follow. So
I'm waiting with bated breath for Speak Now, Taylor's version. Okay. Last but not least, y'all, we are hiring for summer right now. Full-time positions here at the Interrobang. I need y'all to tell the people why they should work for Interrobang this summer.
Because you get to work with me.
And I'm floating around the building too.
Yeah, Justin will be in the vicinity.
I actually had this sort of conversation with Johan while we were recording another podcast. It's the community for the Interrobang is just so spectacular, and the people that you get to work with every day are just amazing. I've never been able to have a work environment where I can have a conversation with absolutely everybody about something that I'm passionate about. Johan and I went on for maybe a good chunk of time on anime and video game music, and just everybody has these little connections to each other in what we're passionate about, and it's just such a good environment where you can just openly chat with absolutely everybody.
Yes.
What he said.
Thanks. This was just for me. Like, I really just needed to be validated by your guys' experience.
Fair enough.
And Hannah, our editor, is so great and spectacular and just the best person ever.
Thank you. That sounded so genuine. Ben, was there anything you want to add? Sorry.
I mean, Justin put it perfectly, honestly. That was basically what I was going to say. It's like really chill. I don't know. It's better than working retail. That's for damn sure. So come work for us.
It's
really good.
It's nice to work for a place where you not only get freedom in the things that you kind of write about, but it's also nice to stay connected with London as a city as well.
Yeah.
So, and especially during the summer, London is not short on events and things that are going on. Mm-hmm. So there's just plenty to cover, but you also have that slight freedom where if it's like, if you want to cover a story on this, more than likely you can in some way, shape, and form.
Say no.
Yeah, because we got a lot of freedom in the summer to write like whatever we want. And I started at the end of the summer, and I was like, I want to write this, and you were like, yeah, go ahead, whatever, do it.
Yeah.
So
I love the content.
Come work for us because you could write about whatever you want.
Yeah. And you will gain experience. Like this is not like we're chill, we have a good time, we vibe, but you're gonna learn stuff and you're gonna be a better journalist for it. So
that too.
Go to fsu.ca/jobs. Our postings are up right now. Please apply. Also apply for a full-time work-study bursary at bursaries.fantasy.ca. And I think that's going to be it, you guys. That's it.
That is it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening and watching to the Red Couch Podcast all year. We are not going away in the summer. We will be back in some capacity, whether it's here on video or by audio. Don't worry. You're still going to get your Red Couch Podcast fix. For now, be sure to pick up your copy of Interrobang on newsstands right now. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and subscribe to our newsletter to keep up with all things Fanshawe. For the Interrobang, I'm Hannah Theodore.